Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's staying safe. I hope everybody's staying sane and managed to get some training in at home. What I want to do for your entertainment purposes today is show you a fight from 10 years ago. And this was actually requested. A number of people have asked for me to break down one of my fights from a lot earlier in my career. Now, unfortunately, about 5 years ago, we had a house fire and we lost a lot of the footage that I had of my early fights. I'm sure it's floating around somewhere, so I'll try and get my hands on it. But we're going to dive back today into the early part of my pro career instead of the amateur career. And we're going to look at a fight that is now 10 years old. Took place in 2011. So it's been a while since I've watched this. I'm interested to look back, see what mistakes I made, see how I've evolved as a fighter, what I should have been doing differently, what criticisms I have for myself. So I hope you guys enjoy watching this fight. It was in China. It was my first trip internationally, my first time preparing for a Chinese opponent. And the one thing I'll tell you that we prepared for, because we did not know specifically who we were fighting, but we knew generally when you're fighting the Chinese style, the Chinese athletes, they are generally very fit, very strong, come out very aggressive, and one of the most important things that you have to prepare for is the side kick. So even though I didn't know who I was fighting, I drilled and drilled and drilled to be ready to deal with this side kick. All right, here we go, guys. Round number one. This fight was somewhere in Midland, China. It was in January, I want to say. Super cold. I didn't actually get to warm up. Like, I tried to warm up, but my body wouldn't warm up because it was probably about 0 there. I'm not even kidding you. It was freezing. So the little bit of Vaseline you see on my shoulders, that's about as much as we could do in terms of getting the body a little bit lubricated, but there was no sweat. I don't think I remember sweating until the 3rd round. All right, glove touch, and we're underway. You can tell right away he comes out hard, but I come back hard too. I know I have to make sure I don't let him dictate the pace of the fight and I get some respect from him early on. There's that side kick already. And a nice catch there from him and bounce off the ring ropes. I believe it's Sen Chu that the Chinese athletes do, and one of the things that we had to prepare for in this fight last minute, they didn't tell us until days before the fight that throws were going to score very highly. But back then I worked my clinch a lot, so it wasn't a big concern for me. But you just have to be aware that throws count a lot in this fight. Just hucking those bombs in on me. It's a pretty frantic pace already early in the fight. Trying to maintain some distance there with the jab. Nice high kick. I really like, same mistake there. Came in a little bit too deep with the low kick, trying for a sweep. Got thrown for it, or almost thrown. Jab's not looking quite as sharp as I would like it to be. I think I've sharpened that up a little bit now. Just not as speedy as it needs to be. Nice little switch kick there. I'm just looking for mistakes right now, mistakes that I don't like in my style. My hands are bobbing a little bit, up and down. I don't really care for that. Because just like you saw there, it leads to a counter. It's much easier to land on somebody when the hands are moving up and down, up and down. If you can time it, and there's just more time. Very nice low kick there. There's more time when your hands are away from your head. Looked like that one stung his leg a little bit. He did a little shake out there. A little Thai side kick of my own. Looks like my hands are starting to move a little bit less. This was my first fight having to deal with the jet lag as well. That's always an interesting factor in the fights. The pace has calmed down a little bit back to where I want it to be. I don't really like a massive frantic pace. I like a very athletic fight, but not dangerous. I don't want the fight to be at that point where I'm risking getting knocked down or knocked out. I like pushing the pace to my comfort zone. And there's a safety area there. Oh, there we go. Nice little catch, sweep. I went down with them. My glove looks like it got locked up in his hip or his foot or something. But I'm sure that scored nicely there. Nice little hook down to the body and the cross up top. Solid low kick. Working that back leg now. There's the round. I would say for this one, I mean, I definitely won that round, but that was a close round. There was not like a blowout at all. The throw that I landed probably scored fairly well. Nice legit sweep there. And aside from that, I got some good low kicks, one which knocked him down as well. I really like that body shot. If you've never seen that before, you come with the left body shot, you get the guy to lower his elbow, and then you come with the straight right up the middle. That is one of my favorite techniques. I don't utilize it enough, unfortunately. I throw it more when somebody reminds me. But when they remind me, it starts landing very nice. That was a nice catch from him. He just closed the distance. And he just looked like it was, I mean, I had his leg there. I don't know how I didn't actually hold on to it. A nice sweep there. Oh, he locked his arm up on my head, which kept him up a little bit, dragged me down with him. Interesting. All right, moving into round 2 here. He's already on his feet. Like I said, the Chinese athletes are very fit. They work very hard. I would never face a Chinese athlete and think I'm going to out-cardio him in any substantial way. It's all about having high endurance so I can keep up with them. And then if I'm doing well, maybe push the pace a little bit more. But it's not like a lot of other people where I go, okay, 3rd round, I'm going to take over. I never assume that when I'm fighting somebody from China. Very dedicated, very hard-working in terms of cardio. Nice side kick from him. And again, but he came high with those ones, but because I had my hands up and I didn't reach to catch it, I was protected. If I had reached and tried to scoop it or something, I might have eaten a head kick. Nice hook cross there. Good cross, followed with the jab. And that was a nice little low kick there. Doesn't look like he loves those. That's sort of my signature thing. The front kick to the face has gotten harder to land throughout the years as the opponents have gotten higher level. They don't fall for the mistake of dropping the elbow. Center back up there. And lift and toss. Just throw him over. Not much subtlety or technique in that. That was just a muscle thing. But it looked like it scored. The ref lifted his arm up. Ooh, nice spinning back fist. Little jab fake there to get him to drop his hand, pull it in front. Overall, I'm fairly happy with my technique. There's a few things here and there which I see that I could have improved upon or that I've gotten better on in the last decade of training. But it's still looking pretty sharp. Keep in mind, I'd already been, I believe I would have been about 25 in this. So I'd already been training pretty hard at kickboxing for, that would be probably 7 years, plus all the karate martial arts background before that. So it's not like I was a super inexperienced pro fighter, like inexperienced in the terms of maybe my record. I think this was my 4th fight maybe. I always like when they let the clinch go a little longer, but that's just part of kickboxing. Ooh, there we go. Caught the side kick because I'd already felt out his head side kicks. I knew what it was like. Now I'm willing to run the risk of reaching and catching those kicks. So I would never try and catch a side kick until I've assessed the power and the skill of the guy and made sure it's safe. Ooh, a little sneaky uppercut in there, trying for the throw. My hands have calmed down a little bit. I'm not really bouncing them anymore, which I really like. Nice pressure there. Up on the foot. Good balance, and end of round 2. Definitely 2 rounds to 0, but as I've learned throughout the years, you never want to leave it to the judge's scorecard and have it close because they'll rob you. Sometimes they will. I've been on the end of that. So I bet you my brother was telling me right now, okay, you should be up 2 rounds, but push the pace in the 3rd. I can't actually remember, but that's what I'd be telling me if I was my own cornerman. It's a comfy lead right now, or it should be, but we don't know that. The Chinese athlete he stays on his feet. I like to take the stool. It doesn't really make a difference. I've stood up before. It doesn't make a load of difference, but I just like to get that full relaxation. Those are nice side kicks from him. A decent catch there. I mean, it wasn't perfect technique. I got a little sloppy midway through as he started to pull his foot out, but still good, and still a high scoring technique for sure. And I believe this is the round now where I started to warm up. Like, my body actually started to sweat, and I was going, okay, at least I'm not freezing now. For those first 2 rounds, I was legitimately cold. I remember being, ow, everything hurts, and you just don't feel great. You can actually see a little bit of sweat, I think, unless it's water trickling down the forehead there. It's fast enough pace. I'm breathing decently in the corner there. Sometimes I come back from the corner and I feel just, oh, I got this, no big deal. And other times you're just surprised. And that could be one of the big factors, could be my body's not warmed up fully. It does make a difference. I notice that when I train, if my body is cold or not warmed up, that just my heart rate kicks up so much higher than it normally would if I was fully warmed up. All right, last round. I'm going to say 2 rounds to 0 at the moment. I would assume he's going to come out fairly hard. I always try to stay safe in the first 30 seconds of the last round, just in case the guys come out and just go completely gangbusters and go for the big KO. Throw caution to the wind. That hook cross is working really well for me off the low kick. I've noticed that 2 or 3 times in this fight that I've landed that already. Or maybe even 3 and 4 now. Caught the low kick there. They weird zooming in. It's kickboxing. It's not boxing. Show us the whole body. That looks like a low kick landed there. Nice tight guard. Again. Oh, he snuck one through. That's the problem with that sort of Dutch style guard where you don't move your hands. Is when somebody finds an opening, you get clocked for it. Whereas if you shift your hands around your head, make adjustments, you usually won't get hit. That low kick looks like it's working very, very well right now. Oh, nice step through front kick. That looks like it hurt him. He's backing up, doesn't want to engage. And nice catch there. That's one that I learned from watching Sinby. It's the gym that I went to, and before I went there, I watched him land that catch over and over. It's very technical to get it down. Ooh, that low kick hurt. Playing this catching game. Oh, and a little stumble. Just getting too into the low kicks. Probably a little slippery on that middle logo there too. Nice takedown from him. Just jamming the distance, making it hard for me to post out with my back leg. Now he's getting desperate on that reach. I should be trying to fake low and come high with the head kick. That would be my advice if I was in the corner. He's reaching really low now. Either throw a Brazilian kick or look low and then bring the kick high. That would be a very smart tactic. And that's the end of the fight. There we go, guys. So I don't think we need to actually watch the decision. I won the fight. I know I did. And I'm sure you guys know I would have too. That was 3 rounds to 0. I'm pretty sure. I mean, the scoring was in Chinese, but I have to assume that that was the fair outcome of the fight. Guys, if you enjoyed seeing the breakdown, you enjoyed seeing me 10 years ago, let me know in the comments below. You know, it's something that I would have never thought to do, but it's been requested. If you want to see more of my old fights and the criticisms I have for myself, definitely let me know. In this fight, I really didn't like the way my hands were bobbing at the beginning. I tell people a lot not to do that. And it's interesting that I used to do that, at least in this fight. Aside from that, I was pretty happy with my preparation for not knowing who the opponent is, just knowing we're going to try and catch some of the kicks after we get used to the side kick, after we get used to dealing with that power kick that they have. I thought my jab just wasn't quite on point, wasn't much of a snap, and I would have liked to see that a little bit better. Overall, I thought my defense looked fairly good, and that's always the big aspect for me is, has my defense improved? I was pretty happy with it there. It wasn't perfect, and I was definitely forcing things a little bit on those low kicks, getting a little too tight. If I would have fought that same opponent and been in round number 2, moving into round number 3, I believe now I would have KO'd him with low kicks because he was already hurt, and I think I would have been a little bit more intelligent with my approach. Whereas in that fight, I think I was just throwing them, and there was no setup. So instead of throwing high and coming low, I was just throwing the kick and he was able to see it coming, and then I just kind of moved away from the low kicks because I was getting thrown and didn't want to go down on points. But it's probably fun for you guys to see me 10 years ago, see the improvements I've made, see my skill level back then compared to now. I mean, I wouldn't say it's been a massive improvement, like, oh my gosh, he's improved at 200% or something like that. But overall, I have definitely gotten better. I've gotten stronger. That's the big thing that I've noticed. More recently, the shots just feel harder. I feel like I'm able to hurt people. If you guys enjoyed the video today, give it a like. If you haven't already, make sure you get subscribed. Guys, train hard, and I'll see you back here soon for another video.